make sure my volume is down on Twitch. Okay, that is down. Hey, everybody. Can you hear me? Anybody? Anybody out there? Turn off the volume on my phone because that's just rude. There you go. All right, turn that off. All right. Okay, I don't see anybody. I'm hoping somebody's in here. Uh-oh, am I on the right channel? Hey, there you go. All right. Awesome. Okay. Cool. All right. So what's up, guys? I'm actually starting right on time today. I will gonna go into a little poly painting. I'm gonna move the camera here so I'm not looking in the wrong place, and then turn it this way. There it is. Okay. All right. What's up, guys? Romric, Extimian, Hanzoku, what's going on, you guys? Okay. All right. So I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the stream. Today I will be doing a little bit of reverse engineering, if you will. So for me, if you don't know, I like to paint stuff. I get paid to paint stuff. I use ZBrush to do that if you're new here. And the stuff that you can see on my desktop is kind of what I've done in the past. Today what I'm going to do to kind of help out with that, if I have time, sometimes what I'll do is I will, what's up, Attentive Slug? What I'll do is I will get my poly painting in ZBrush first, and then do a key shot render of that. And then it just makes life way easier, because at that point I'm able to do things like do some subsurface to make the skin, like if you're looking on this turtle here, it in Keyshot I can make the skin look like it's a little more transparent and a little more lifelike, and with those colors are there, it picks up the surface details and it really helps out, and I can just paint them. So if I was going to paint the turtle without any of that, I guarantee it wouldn't look this good. All right, so what I'll open up here is a little Photoshop. Okay, and you can see this is kind of where that comes into play. So the Hulk that I have on the left, which is completely obscured by my picture, kind of. All right, let me just move him over. Let's make this one screen. How about that? Range all to tiles. Consolidate to tabs. All right. So this guy right here is the original sculpt, and then I poly painted him and took him into Keyshot, and this is just the Keyshot render. So no painting involved whatsoever. Came into Photoshop, did a little selective blurring on the hand, added some particles, and blurred the back leg. And you can see, like, these jeans are like crazy convincing. Like, there's no painting in here at all. So, or no painting, let me rephrase that, no painting outside of ZBrush, rather. So all that's poly painted. All right, so that's what I'm going to go into today. I don't see a whole lot of people, man. I hope there's more people in here than this. I see 5 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Come on, you guys. Come on. All right, whatever. I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I'm gonna do here. So that being said, I don't know if you guys are subscribed to my Instagram, but I put I had a little contest to see whether, there you go, Shane Olson, what's up, dude? I had a little Q&A to see whether people wanted me to do my bishop or repaint the Hulk. The Hulk is interesting because he's not just like a regular colored dude, you know what I mean? Like, the green color is kind of dope. I was gonna maybe flip it and do the red Hulk, but Bishop's even better. There's more gear on him. All right. So you can see here's my sculpt. I'm still working on them. No, I haven't touched the boots in several weeks. I don't know what I want to do with the boots, but I did go in and give them the crazy Rick James hair and added some extra details. So let's just paint this guy. All right. And last night, you got to forgive me. There's parts on here that are very undercooked, like the gloves are still like I just started touching the gloves yesterday. If I turn off the gun, you can see that they're very soft yet, right? So not done. Normally wouldn't paint this guy until I'm done. I actually was checking out Shane's stream yesterday, which was very cool. He's working on a stylized cowboy that's based off of some concept art, and he asked me whether I paint, like at what stage do you start to poly paint, right? And for me, it's always very late into the game, because what I find is that if I just keep even things like the basic material, that I can see the model a lot better. And so, you know, once I start painting, you can do all kinds of tricks to make it look fantastic with paint. I mean, that's kind of what I do is I paint. So I don't want to do that. I'd rather just have the raw sculpt, see all my flaws, and fix those before I get into the paint, which I'm going to do today. All right, I'm going to have a sip of water first. Cheers. Sophia Render, what's up? All right, I got to share this with you because I've been working on this thing, and I'm a little proud, but I'm almost done with my skull that I've been working on. So it's actually a self-portrait, right? What do you think? But it's monster clay. All right, thanks. Okay, all right, so let's get started. Stop screwing around here. So I think now what I've done is, first let me know, do you want me to keep the hair on or do bald Bishop, because it can go either way for me. Like he looks raw either way. Anybody? Anyone? No. All right. You know what? I'm gonna go with bald Bishop then. Is the hair done XM style? I don't know what XM style is, Shane. I did it with the there's a guy, I knew somebody was going to ask me that. There's the guy on Gumroad that has the hair. It's the same one that everybody uses. The hair curve brush. And I use that. Let me isolate it because this thing is massive at this point. So I use that, and I've never done hair this way before, so it's still like I could have gotten away with a lot less strands, and it's still kind of messy. When I moved it around, you can see like there's a 1,000 of these little things, but live and learn, right? The next one will be more clean. I was checking out Danny Mac, and he uses far less of these tubes, and it looks super clean and stylized, which is really dope. So I'm looking for that happy medium between Shane's style and I don't know, like Ramel Chopra, who was like ridiculous with it, or Joe Minna, you know, like those guys do, like paint every single strand. They don't, but it looks that way. So, all right, I'm gonna do him without the hair. Did anybody say bald? All right, Pathfinder said bald. All right, since you were the only one that voted, I'm going with Pathfinder. All right, so let's turn off the hair. Select Bishop, and I will isolate him. Solo him out. So you can see I have kind of the pants are their own thing, but his shirt and his arms and his head are all one. Like this is all in this one piece right here. So let me pull up another couple pieces of ref. So I learned how to really poly paint looking at guys like Shane Olson. I'm not Shane Olson. I'm sorry. Scott. God, I forget his last name. I have his book. I'll think of it. If anybody can remember, but Scott's there's a guy that I have his book. He shows how to paint the color temperatures in the face. So I pulled up some reference for that. Bishop poly paint. All right, so there's basically, you got the color temperatures of the face, which I'm sure I'm not, a lot of you guys already know this stuff, but so it's pretty much like this. And what I learned is whatever's closest to bone is going to read more as yellow. The more fleshy areas are going to have more blood in them, obviously, so they're going to be more red. And then, for a guy, obviously, you're going to have more blue, like around the jawline because of, facial hair, things like that. And then also in the hollows of your eyes is more blue. Recessed area. Scott Spencer, thank you. So, and then the recessed areas are going to have more of a bluish tone as well to convey and push back those eye sockets. That's really important for somebody like me because for the longest time when I was painting, I used to wonder why my eyes felt like they were sitting on top of the face. They didn't feel inset. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you really have to, you have to show that they're recessed into the skull, right? So you see how dark it is in there. It's going to cast more towards the blue side. So let's go. All right, and the way I normally do this is I just fill my guy with, actually I'm going to fill all my subtools with the ZBrush skin shader. Actually, I'll use the Pixelogic one, which is pretty sweet. Let's turn off solo. Turn back on his gun. Where is his gun? Here it is. Okay. And skin shade 4. All right. So now I will use my set the color to material and use my Z plugin Subtool Master fill the entire thing with this material. Okay, that's going to go through and designate all of my obviously I didn't have the main thing turned on, the eyeball, but it's going to designate or fill rather all of those subtools with that material, and it's a great starting spot, right? Like a blank canvas. The other thing that I can use while this is going is some Bishop ref. So I'm an older dude. I'm partial to the 80s version of Bishop, back when he was like the cartoon version where he's got the this outfit here is fresh to me. So I'm going to be using that for my the styling. All right, I will be taking the same character and reposing him, and the reason I did a hair version and have the bald version is that I'm going to do the it's not Executioner song, but there's a version where he gets his arm ripped off and it has the he has a big giant robot arm and he's bald and the big M on his chest. So that's going to be a whole different pose, a whole different sculpture. But for this guy, I'm going to go with old school Bishop right here. All right, so let's view the image. Save it. Yep, just save that. Get this out of here. Get out of here. All right, now this is filled. All right, I want to make sure that I can still see you guys. That's fur, feather, scales, easier to do than skin. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. You gotta sculpt fur, man. That's real hard. All right, so let's get started with usually for skin, I start with the red as a base. I like that. Because if you peel off your skin, it's probably gonna be red. Just saying. Switch it to RGB. Get my color and fill object. All right. It's very red. And I do this for a starting spot for all skin tones. It doesn't matter. Like even for the Hulk, it began as the red. And I use my yellow and my blue to accentuate those bony areas and the recesses. And it really pops it off. And then after that's done, I'll come back in with my my RGB intensity turned down, and I'll start adding, browns, and that's going to allow you to kind of, it fakes that, it kind of fakes being able to see through the skin, the translucency of it. All right, so let's isolate the head just because we can. And you can see that I've already started to add some poor detail to this guy. All right, now I can get my brush and get started. So, let's grab some yellow. Go with, I'll start off with just the regular spray, and grab the alpha of it's alpha number 21, which is the stipple pattern. Okay, turn down my red or my RGB intensity, and make sure that I only have the RGB selected and not the add, because I don't want to mess with the topology of this thing. I just want to add color here. All right, so that's on. Well, first thing, don't do what I did. Select the standard brush, not the move brush. That helps, right? Okay, so I got the standard brush. There you go. All right, cool. So now we can just start adding some of these temperature zones, right? And he's a bald gentleman, right? So this is all cranium up here, man. So it's okay if we kind of get that looking kind of yellow. What's going to happen when this is done, if you guys don't use this technique? I know most people probably, I don't know most people, I mean, I'm sure there's people that do, and other people that just go right to the browns and stuff. I do tend to find that if I go right to the skin color, things get muddy, right? With browns and fleshy tones, it's very easy to you want to get where you're supposed to be there, guy? All right. It's very easy to in your shadow areas, using darker tones of whatever your base tone is, just to start to turn muddy. That's not a good look. So hey, thanks, Shane. Hey, Happy New Year, Pedro. Anybody else? I meant when I'm drawing a painting. Oh my God, you paint fur? That's even crazier. I'm not very good with that. I'll be very honest with you guys. I get real nervous when I have to paint like furry animals, or like long luxurious hair, because I have a bit of ADHD, and I tend to overthink it, and before I know it, I'm painting every strand, which sucks. You don't want to do that. All right, so now let's get probably have a little bit on his chin down here too, right? let's grab some blue and kind of hit these hollows a bit. And just so you guys know, it's always very, like anything else with the sculpting, painting, it always sucks at the beginning. It's really gross. All right, so if you are new to ZBrush or painting in general, artwork at all, it's always going to be terrible until it's not. And just wherever there's any kind of recesses, I'm just hitting it with this blue. Hit the hollows of these ears a little bit. Doesn't have to be clean. I'll clean it all up later. All right, and then I usually turn down the intensity and kind of hit in here a little bit. Push this in where those cheeks kind of inset. Alrighty, so then see if there's any questions about anything. Maddie Scott Spencer, yep, teach the same way. Yes, yes, yes. You might. What's up, Pro? Could you cavity mask? Yeah. Now, I will use the masking later on. For me, that's like, when you cut the lawn, and it looks good, right? It's nice and clean and everything, but the edges are kind of garbage. Then you hit it with the edger, and it's like, bam! Like now, it's a beautiful lawn. That's what I'm gonna do with the cavity masking. Like at the end, I will use that, and it'll just set it off. But for now, I like to just use the regular brushes and just block it in. All right. And believe me, this will be cleaner later on. Let's hit underneath of this chin a bit. Turn up the opacity. When I first got Spencer's book and was reading it, I was he did an alien this way, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like for the longest time, I was just like, wow, that's kind of a mess. What is he doing? And then at the end, he lays the skin tone on top of it, and it unifies all those colors and knocks them back. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. It just was beautiful. So I was sold at that point. Okay, so now let's just hit some of this in here. Okay, now these cheeks down here, this zone down here needs to be more cool, so I would probably, hit that with a lower intensity and just fill this in a little bit. Maybe that's too much, too low. Too much little. I'm going to give you guys fair warning. I will be doing probably some pretty gross, shameless plugging today. I have a couple things that happened this week that were pretty exciting for me, and I'd like to share. You know, okay? I'll share it with you. Okay, let's hit those ears with a little yellow in the cartilage spots. This down. And don't worry, it'll get better. Found the older I get, the more I have patience for things like this, but like the less I have patience for almost everything else. I'm turning into that guy. I don't want to say I've told kids to stay off my yard, but I've told them to get out of my yard. See any questions? Hey, Modizana. Thank you. Thank you very much. Plug away. What are you guys doing? Like a movie, game, CGI? No, this is just a this is a personal piece that I will be printing out as a full statue, but it's just gonna. God, it looks horrible now. Let's see. Let's turn that off. Okay, even worse. Yeah, it's gonna be a X-Men sculpt that I'm hoping to get about 1/6 scale print of it made. Okay, so now what would help also is to get some reference of some photo ref of some people. So, I know I butchered. No, I actually spelled his name right. All right. Idris Elba is my go-to reference for everything. This guy's dope. So I'm going to be using him as reference for the skin tone and the face. View image. Yeah, it's a nice big one. Maybe a couple different angles. This is good. You can see how, you know, those eyes are kind of pushed back. Image. So him and who else? How about maybe Terry Crews? God, Terry Crews, this dude, man, God bless him. He's cut like crazy, and he's not a young guy, but great reference also. This guy is killing it. Okay, so let's view this. This will help me when I'm doing Bishop's his chest. Even though it's going to be covered with a shirt, it's really going to show those shadows and hot spots like highlights. So let's save this too. I think that'll do it. Okay, so let's get this out of here. Get out of here. Come back over here. All right, and I found out that PureRef is on Mac too. I was going to get that last night, but I forgot to. So I will be using Quaddraw. Quadro. Local image. Bishop. All right, so let's get all these pictures, pull them up. Okay. Oh, maybe don't put it right behind your face there, fella. All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Doing my dream job. Nice. Bald bishop or dread. Yeah, I'll be adding the, well, man, you're going to make me sculpt dreads too. Right now I got the not Jerry curl, but like the S curl hair. This one is going to have that hair. There's going to be another pose that's bald bishop, but for now he's just bald. It's got a good face, some really good websites where you can find good photo. It's a technical name for this phase of painting the skin. Subdermal. Sounds good. Okay. Oh no, you guys. I'm sorry. I've been trying to get a refrigerator for 3 weeks. Let me just tell them to call me back, okay? I apologize. Hello? Yeah. This is Mike. I'm sorry. I'm kind of out of it for the next 2 hours. Can I call you back? Yes. Hold on 1 second. I apologize, you guys. I'm doing. You know what? I kind of can't stop what I'm doing right now. Can I? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm having a nightmare getting a refrigerator. It's literally been weeks, and I couldn't miss that. That was real unprofessional. I apologize. All right, so let's get back on this guy. All right, at this point, what I would do is switch to a different brush and a different alpha. Okay, just so I can do regular strokes and turn on my lazy mouse. Let's get that blue, right? Which now is kind of purple. But if you don't know, if you just drag the cursor from the color box on top of your model, you can color pick whatever you want. All right, so let's see. Right, that's looking good. Let's turn up the intensity. Okay. So at this point, what I can do is I can start. I do use mask by cavity, but I find that that works best for me at the end when I'm doing, the really kind of exaggerated creases and pores. For stuff that's maybe not quite so cut, hand painting is just, it's way easier for me. So I can come in and now just start to hit those areas. I'm going to pick a darker kind of, there you go. And with lazy mouse, it's like super easy just to paint these things in. Let's just make this a little darker. And the more accentuated this is, the more it's going to punch when I lay light tones of skin over this. Oh, so the shameless plugs. I almost forgot. So there is. I did a project the end of last year where I had Wacom came out to my studio and shot it along with doing like a nice little interview, and I did a tutorial video. Those are finally out, and right now you can find them on the Corel, because I kind of did it with Corel Painter as well. I did a full walkthrough of my Spider Gwen sculpt and paint, and you can find that on the the Corel Discovery channel, Discovery Center, right now. I'll put a link in the chat later. But that's out. So the videos were really fun, and they got to shoot all my toys in here, and stuff that I've worked on over the years, packaging and toy boxes and all that good stuff. So that's out, and I'm pre-registration is open. I'm going to be teaching a class with Ryan Kingsland next month, and you can register for that and get the up close and personal with any questions, and then I'll be doing critiques and all of the good stuff that comes with classes. I'll be talking to Shane because Shane teaches a lot of classes, and that's kind of the model that I want to follow. Like he's doing it right, I think. Alright, so now I can turn down the opacity and just kind of hit in some of these areas. I think coming as a painter to ZBrush, I really enjoy this, and I've used applications that are, strictly for painting your models, like Substance, and really haven't. I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing it right, but it doesn't feel as good as the painting tools in here for some reason. So there's that. Oh, the other thing is, rather than trying to line up a stroke several times, you can just replay the last stroke and punch in the darkness of anything, or lightness, depending upon what color you're using. And I do that the same way when I sculpt. I do the same thing for my sculpt strokes. The other thing that's great about this is you can blend back some of these things if they're some of these strokes if they're too heavy. So as long as if I hold Shift, as long as I turn off the add and just have my color selected, I can just blur that on out and make it look more natural. I really like these poly painting tools in here. I think because I'm not doing a whole lot of hard surface stuff with metals, I'm not quite as big on Substance yet. I've seen people do some amazing skin in Substance. What I would probably do after I finish painting this is then take it into Substance and apply some materials to make it look more translucent. But there are guys who can paint in it right from the jump and it looks fantastic. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a whole lot of Gumroads because there's their promotional piece with there's an orc, I think, with blue paint on his face that just is killer. But I don't know how to do that. Let's see if there's any more questions. Clown face. There you go. Thanks, Mike. cool. Yeah, thanks, Shane. Yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up, man. Do you add veins in this? Yeah, I totally do. Once this is done, I add the veins, and I'll be even kind of punching the tattoo on his face a little bit before I get into laying the skin over top of it. Like, this is fun because you really, the thing I love about sculpting and painting and all that other stuff is you really can't mess it up. You know, like even if you do, you just paint over top of it. It's not that deep. So then I'll bounce back to, let's try the color spray now. And that's going to give me some variation in some of these tones. Grab some of this red here. And the opacity's on 7. So you can knock back some of those blues a little bit. Right, because also change the size of the brush, and those dots will be a little less garish, more fine. Right, knock that back some. Oh, turn off lazy mouse. I don't usually have lazy mouse on when I use the spray, but for the strokes, definitely. Alright, and so looking at some of these pictures, probably could use a little bit of that blue on the sides of his nose. Clown face is the scientific term for what I'm doing. You're totally correct. Scar tissue should have its own color. Oh yeah, oh absolutely, yeah. I'd be jumping the gun. Yes, the keloid on his face is going to be way different than the rest of them, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So I did attend the University of Maryland, and there were several Greek organizations of color where branding was a giant thing, and so I'm very familiar with the brands and what they look like. The keloids are not pretty. That's going to be fun to paint. And there's bone there, so just punch some yellow into it. Maybe a little brighter, a little brighter yellow on that cheekbone. Okay. So now let's detail the ear a little bit. Maybe find a good picture of the ear would be nice. Let's turn this. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. Ears. Okay. They're all tiny. All right, this will work. Local image. Here. Done. Just kidding. Oh no, where'd it go? Come on. Sorry. Is it here somewhere? Oh man. Always on top. Alright, well, I don't know where the ear went. I just lost it. Yeah, you can see I have a lot of pore detail that's gonna should look really nice when I hit it with the mask by cavity. Oh, okay. Shane, take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Shane had a stream last night that was really good. If you haven't seen it, you can catch it on Twitch for the next couple days, and then it'll probably be on YouTube as well. I'm a giant fan of his work. The Disney Infinity guys are like one of my favorite things. For somebody who really is into realism, I really appreciate some water. Sorry. I really appreciate stylized things. So I'm actually working on a collaboration with my friend of Black Dynamite, which is it's done in this stylized kind of a look, which is really cool. Oh, lazy mouse is off, that's why. Oh, what? I must have hit the lazy step by mistake here. Yeah, that's what I did. Alright. Hit up some of these creases in the neck. Them neck folds. And his handkerchief is going to be over this, so it's probably not really needed, but that's how I get down. I know it's there. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's go to something like this and start to hit this keloid. Anybody have any questions about anything? Don't be interrupting my kung fu. Intensity a little, turn up the size a little. The good thing about using the replay stroke is that if you go too far, you can always just undo it. Alright, now, you probably have noticed that I have not touched the mouth yet, so let's get into that. Grab some of this blue here. Oh, it's because I have the alpha on. That's why it's giving me such a fine line. If anybody has any questions about anything I'm doing, feel free to ask. He has like a little scar on his lip. Punch that in a little bit. And then push up the rim of it with a little yellow on the sides. How many people use this technique? Okay, so Andrew, the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing now is that this is essentially, look at this as being the face minus the skin, right? So once I put the skin tone on, this guy could be any complexion, but once I put it on top of these colors and I put it on in you know, less than 100% opacity, these colors are going to punch through. And so ideally, or actually essentially what's going to happen is those blue colors are going to push back, the yellows are going to push forward, and the reds are going to look like they're just more, you know, fleshy. They're going to look like they have more blood in them. So that's why I do it this way, and I will add those colors in ZBrush. The one thing that I wish that that ZBrush had is the ability to once I get this done and really like it, kind of have that as a layer and then come in with another layer, kind of like you have the stacks of subtools, but have another layer where I can paint the skin you know, on and kind of dial it back and stuff. Now I know we have layers in here. I don't have the best of luck when it comes to the layers. I always forget to turn off the recordings, and that causes major issues when I'm saving things. I always end up having corrupt files because I'll have a layer recording for a sculpt and then leave it on, and then I'm wondering why when I take it, you know, I do finally turn it off, everything turns black and is this weird kind of shiny matte cap with digital stuff all over it, and it's because I don't really use those right. It would be nice to have the you know, it'd be nice to have an actual layer system for paint, maybe in a future version, I don't know, but that would be awesome for me anyway. Until then, you know, there's other applications that do have layers that you can paint all this stuff up. I don't know if you were in here earlier. I actually own Substance, but I don't like the brushes as much as I do the ones in ZBrush. So that's it. But yeah, once this is done, I'll take it into KeyShot. In KeyShot, I'm going to assign a translucent material to it, and then that way when I hit it with the light, the other good thing is these colors will also start to come through, so you'll start to get the you know, the reds and the cheeks and, you know, things of that nature. Right, so looking kind of creepy right now, but now what we can do, I'm just going to add a little bit of white up here, brighten up the top of that dome, and some in the ears just to punch them a little bit. I wonder what happened to my ear. It just disappeared completely off the reference there. All right. So one more thing. Let's get a little bit of these creases a little bit. No, that's a mask. That's a mask. All right. So what I would usually do at this point is the rest of the body, but this is going to be, let's see, where do I have the rest of the body? All right. This is not bad because the shirt is going to be a different paint scheme. All right. Let me just put a little bit more in the neck. Maybe on that Adam's apple, add a little bit of this yellow to it. The spray. What I'm doing is I'm getting to the point where I can, this reference is in my way, dude. I'm getting to the point where I can add the skin over top of it, and you guys, or the brown over top of it, and you guys are going to see what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's got some nice areas in his neck that need to be highlighted with blue. Turn up the intensity a little bit. Oh, lazy mouse is on. Cut that off. And this is just going to kind of peek out from underneath of the his neckerchief. If you're a scout, neckerchief. Let's get a little more of the neck in here. I just realized I haven't saved. Let me save, because that would be horrific if I lost my progress. Let's see if there's any questions. Does KeyShot actually have any SSS skin shaders? They have translucency shaders that you can, if you have color underneath, you can kind of, I mean, you can add color to fake it, but it looks like a candle unless you have any real kind of poly painting going on. Andrew, so the colors will be subtle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As soon as I start laying I'm going to start putting the skin tone on in a second, and you will see, but it ties all this together, right? So this is actually, as scary as he looks right now, this is actually perfect. Grab some of this red. What is going on? Oh, switch to the transpose by mistake. All right, and if I get quiet, you guys, I apologize. I kind of, when it comes to the painting, I can kind of talk and chew gum at the same time, but not too much. And remember, I have my, let's turn up the intensity. I have my blur set to only affect the color, so I can go in and knock those colors back a little bit, turn up the blur all the way. Oh, that's the intensity, that's why it's not doing anything. Yeah, so I can go black and go back and blur these colors a little bit. I don't know why it's not doing a whole lot of that right now. All right, so let's, one more spot. Push up these creases here. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, now pretty much everything else is going to be covered, or it's going to be his shirt. So I like this. I'm going to save it. Let's call this Bishop. See if there's any more questions. Yellow art, you're getting ready to see. The blue is because this is a stubble of his beard. Right. Right. I mean, I do know some women that have a little bit of this, but ideally no. Okay. So now what we can do is, let's get the entire body, frame it. Okay, if you guys were not here, I would do his arms as well, right? Because when I start adding these browns, I want them to look the same, and I'm not adding them at 100% opacity, but it's okay. His head is far enough away from the arms that I can fake it later. So let's actually just go and mask some of this shirt. I think I have polygroups for this. Do I? Yes. Okay. So let's get the shirt isolated. Awesome. Okay. Let's make that shirt blue, right? Top. Yeah. All right. So let's get the shirt blue for the base. Turn up my RGB to 100%. Fill. Oh, it's behind my ref. Okay, let's fill the shirt. The heck, let's fill the pants too. It's a scarlet spider. A terrible design. I read a lot of comic books, so you'll have to pardon me. He had one of the worst costumes ever, by the way, like this Flash dance suit, blue and red. Okay, let's fill this. All right. And later on what I'll be doing is his belt is going to be covering that little line, so it doesn't matter. Later on what I'll be doing is I'll do a similar deal with just blues to cut those, cut the muscles in on him. But now what we can do is because we have the head isolated from the shirt, let me grab that. Okay. Let's go low, all low. It'd be easier to select. High. Frame it. Down here. There you go. Okay. So now it starts to get fun. Now we can start to add skin tone in here. So my color, I'm going to, let's pull up that Idris Elba ref again. It's up top. I don't want to lock it. I don't need, oh my goodness, what? I don't need this anymore. Can I close this? Yeah, close. Use this and this. Let's put this here. All right, let's start adding some skin tone. And for this too, I'm going to be building it up. So let's go turn the RGB intensity, usually like around, start around 15, and start to fill this. Do it. Yeah. So you can see it's starting to fill it in, right? Maybe switch to something a little lighter, more in the red family here. what's happening is it's starting to unify these colors a little bit. So now you can see, I mean, it's still, I still have a way to go, but you can still see a definition of the blue where the reds kind of hit the yellow in his skull. Maybe a little more orange now. And this is all pretty much, for me anyway, is a guessing game as to the color and the opacity to drop it in. So maybe at this point what I would do, rather than just painting this or filling it uniformly, I have my base now. So what I can do now is start to spray in tones in selective areas and see what that looks like. Yeah, say goodbye to Clown Face Pro. He's going away. Alright, at this point I can use my color spray, because that'll give me a variation on the spray. Keep my alpha 21. Turn off my lazy mouse. And let's see what, maybe a bit more red. And maybe, well, keep the saturation. Let's just see. It's set 415. Just kind of spray. Turn the intensity down to like 5. Maybe go a bit darker. Tie these colors together a little more. So you want to be careful that you don't completely cover up what you've done. Like, I mean, you spend all this time getting those base tones, you still want to be able to see them, you just want to tie them all together. So it's important not to completely paint out you know, your work. And I go back and forth, so what will happen is after I get a base tone of the brown that I like, I will start to paint variations of that brown, and it starts to get really rich. And then you can come in and add veins and all the cool stuff that's really going to make it look like good. I'm going to be careful. I don't want this to be too dark because it'll get muddy. And I don't want that. I still want some saturation. I just want it to be a little less orange down here. Yeah, it helps to kind of back out too, see what you're doing. Any questions? Painting layers would be nice. The underlaying, painting the underlaying, yep. What just happened? Yeah, what happened to take it from those clown colors to this is I just used a percentage of brown and started filling it. So what will happen is you can see there's still a definite red, you know, yellow, blue that's under there, but as you paint the brown on top, you're knocking that back and you're unifying those colors. And that's kind of what goes on with everybody's skin anyway. You know what I mean? Our skin is it's all transparent. So you're seeing what's going on underneath. And where those bony masses are, it's going to be more yellow. You know, where the hollows, like your eyes and your nostrils and all that, they're going to be more towards the blue. And the areas that have more blood in them, like your cheeks and, you know, your nose and your lips and ears, they have more of the red. Just color temperatures. The trick is picking the right brown, right? Because this looks kind of good here, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to blow those underlying colors. I could use the scrubber to go back, but I don't want to do that. So now another thing that you can do is switch matte caps. A lot of times I'll go and look at it with just the basic material. Oh, but I filled it. All right, so what I can do is I can show the entire thing. Actually, let's undo that. Mask. No, I'm gonna have to mask this later. All right, so what I can do now is I mean, you see, like you can see those colors. If you back away from it, it's starting to look a little more interesting than if I just filled it with brown like a, you know, a coloring book. What I can do at this point is I can fill it with the basic material and see what that looks like. So just turn on material and not color, and let's see what this looks like. Fill object. Right, and it's good to do this just to kind of stay grounded and know what's what. You know, you can use different materials that will make it look amazing, but the problem with that is your eye might be, you know, might be tricked. I'm gonna look at, I have some ZBrush colors for skin, and I really like his, which one? Is it base skin? Yeah, let's try base skin. All right, so I have that, and I'm going to see what that looks like. Color, oops. Color, fill. All right, so you can see it makes a huge difference. This looks far more flat than I want. Can I see what any of these look like? Yeah. The good thing about this is I can see that he's very orange, maybe a bit too orange. But overall, it's not looking too shabby. So this, I just switched to those colors so I can do a check. I would probably just go back to skin shade 4 and keep it moving. So let's fill it with that again. Yeah. Okay, and then we can keep going. See if there's any questions. Yeah, I could fill it with a flat matte cap. I just was being lazy. process different for black and white or other races of people? It's actually not, right? This guy could have been anything. All I did was I filled it with brown as opposed to filling it with more of a peach color or more of a, a color that tends to shade more towards one of the other ethnicities. But same process, you know what I mean? Love to see the base mesh. Okay, cool. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna drink some water while it's saving. Alrighty then. So now the fun part. Right, so now I have the base color kind of in there. What I can do at this point is I can use my masking and mask by cavity and really start to pop this guy. So let's go to mask by cavity and see what it looks like. Alright, I always have to play with this profile. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Start to get some of those nice skin pores. All right. Try it again. And all I'm doing right now is just playing with the intensity and playing with the blur to try to get, probably going to turn the blur all the way down, turn the intensity up. I want to get all of those nice, little pop marks and stuff like that that I can slightly fill that are going to make it feel a little more human. A little more. Yes, cool. All right, so then I can just invert the mask. Okay, hide the mask and grab a nice dark brown. Turn down my, I want to make sure I have RGB selected and turn down my intensity. It's pretty low, it's on 5. I usually like to build this up slowly. You can see it's starting to feel a little more dimensional. Okay, now the problem with using I'm going to undo that back a bit. The problem with using that dark color like that brown, is again, it turns into, it might as well be black, it's very muddy. So probably go with something more saturated. See what that looks like. Let's just turn up the intensity so I can see it in one go in case I don't like it. Use 15. Yeah, it's starting to look a little better. I don't want to. Now I would turn down the intensity. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now I'm getting it only in the more recessed areas. And invert again, hide the mask, and fill. Maybe fill a couple times. Right, and it's starting to feel a little more like a dude. Turn off the solo. Okay, wow. My eyeball's sticking through my face. I didn't even see that before. But yeah, when you contrast it with other things, let's get this neck thing filled in, because that's going to help sell them. Start with a dark color here. Turn up the RGB all the way. Color fill. Okay. Oh my god, that eye is bothering me. I gotta fix that. That's not a good look. And just drop down to the low geometry. How did I miss that? That's crazy. All right, better. Just jumping back up high. See if there's any questions. Like to get this point in the sculpt. Did you pick the Nick male figure and pose? Start from scratch. I used for this guy. It's crazy. I think I did use the Nick's super average guy. Let me see. As a base. I have a base mesh that I use. I can't remember. I'll check and find out. I know that on some of these things I didn't like the topology, and I have a friend who we took a base mesh that was much more simplified, and he rigged it for me in Maya, so that we can play around with quick poses, and then I come in and sculpt it so that it fixes all the compression points. But I don't think it's the Nick's base mesh though. All high. Get some water. There you go. All right. So starting to look better. Facial hair is scary. Let's get some color in that. Oh my god. Stop being on top all the time. All right, color fill. Am I on the right thing? Color. Oh, no. I don't have anything selected. Fill. 100%, dude, not 15. Okay. That looks terrible. You can see I also did not finish sculpting his facial hair. It needs to be a higher poly count. But it's interesting how I couldn't see any of these problems when it was just one color. But now I can. I'll spend more time on this later. I know what you're saying. Why didn't you use fiber mesh? 'Cause I'm terrible at it. Cannot get fiber mesh to play nicely at all. And I've tried. But fiber mesh would probably look pretty dope on this guy. Alright, so let's go back to the neck piece. The kerchief, there's got to be a more masculine name. Come on, guys, what is this thing called? Bandana? It's like a giant bandana. Scarf? A male scarf? I don't even know. All right, masking. Let's do another mask by cavity. Mask away. Let's turn up the intensity. Turn down the blur. Ascot. Word. Who's Ascot, you guys? I'm painting the Scooby-Doo guys for Warner Brothers right now. And every time I look at Fred, I'm like, that Ascot is just a poor life decision. I don't know who told him that was a good look. That works for like Thurston Howell III. That's it. I know I'm old. You guys don't even know what that is. See, back in my day, we had a show called Gilligan's Island, see? There was a rich guy. I was up late, so pardon me if I start to act crazy. I'm not getting that herringbone texture like I want. That's not good. Maybe if it's flat, I'll be able to see it a little better. Let's go for material, fill it with white. Yeah, what is going on here? Oh, no, don't do that. Fill it with white. There you go. Now let's try it. Mask by cavity. Dude. Oh, 0 intensity. Wow, why am I not? Oh, I don't think I committed that. I think it's just surface noise. That is why. Okay. Sorry, I didn't commit that to Geo yet. That's just surface noise. So it's not going to mask by cavity because there's nothing there. Sorry. Okay, but we can get back on the skin. So maybe we'll hide everything except for the ascot and his head. Let's do that. Turn that off. Turn that on. Eyeballs. And let's see what the hair looks like. Why not? Color. Fill. Oh no. Okay, whatever I did, don't do that. Color, 100%. I want to select the hair. Come on, guy. Now fill. Okay. Maybe not so dark so you can see it. Fill. All right. See if there's any questions. Ginger is my favorite. Exactly. Yeah, it was the unapplied surface noise. Grew up watching that. That ascot. You're right. Coconuts. Coconuts for the win. That was like the that was like MacGyver before MacGyver. Like a coconut iPhone or something. Look majestic. Thanks, man. You're missing the facial hair. That is correct. I am. Good call. He looks weird without it. All right. I mean, right now it looks kind of weird with it too, but it is what it is. And let's just put a toy plastic on these eyes. I'll paint the eyes. How much time do I have? 2:35. Wow, I got a half an hour. All right, so maybe we can paint these eyes too. let's do that. I always like when Bishop had the red eyes. Let me see if I can find some reference. What do we got here? Bishop, red eyes. Tools large. Yeah, when he has red eyes, he just looks kind of badass. Not here, he doesn't. Just kidding. If you are the actor that played Bishop in that movie, I do not blame you at all. Okay. When you're about to sculpt, do you give yourself specific time you want to finish? Obviously, the client is under a tight deadline. You make a deadline when you want to finish. Okay. If I'm sculpting for myself, it's an open checkbook. I just noodle along with it until I get really sick of seeing it, and then I usually put it down and go work on something else and come back to it. If I'm working on a piece for an illustration, I don't have that luxury, so I crank through them pretty quickly. I should probably treat everything like it's for a client, and I would be done with a whole lot more pieces. Maybe, but yeah. All right, let's give him some red toy plastic eyes. RGB color. Oh, that's why I have two sets of eyes on. I made two sets of eyes. That is why it's doing that. Which one of these eyes is the right set of eyes? Let's say this one. That'll work. All right, so let's move these up. Anybody that knows me knows I have terrible naming conventions, and my folder structures are terrible, so it takes me forever to find things. So I just save it to the desktop, always. Let's continue 4. All right, let's play some more with his face actually, because I really want to get in there and make this guy pop before my time is up. So solo him out. Let's get our reference back. And now we can noodle around with the details and really kill this thing here. Not that close. Back up. Like right there is good. All the way on top. Alright. Don't need this anymore. Let's zoom in on the Terry Crews. Zoom in on this a little bit. And I like this one as well. All right. So you know you're on the right track if it looks pretty good in just the ZBrush just regular render window here, then you're looking good, because when it goes to keyshot, it's really gonna look good. All right, let's go back to standard. to, you know what, we can spray some color in here, why not? Is it still masked? Let's see. Yes, it is. Okay, okay. So that is still masked. That's fine, actually. Let's just hide the mask. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to lighten the pores. So I'm going to make sure that they're still pushed back. Grab some color. Turn my intensity way down because it's too high. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so now we can kind of just hit some of these areas. Quick save. I guess it's a good thing because I haven't been saving. Let's see if there's any more questions. Hey Mike, or anyone you'd like to contribute, Sean, at the top of the X-Men scope. Okay, I'll check that out. Do me a favor, and if you're on any of my social media, just DM me the link, and I'd be happy to get a dialogue going with you. Serial Chilla. Also, maybe best internet name ever. Alright, take care. Alright, Pedro. Peace, man. Reference software using to put the images on the... This is Quadro for... it's from Mac. I'm about to switch over to PureRef, but right now I'm going with Quadro because I go back and forth between Mac and PC. PureRef is better. You're right. You're right. It's better. Baggier skin type. Okay, cool. All right, so you're talking about something else. All right. Let's get some a little bit of lighter area in the cheek here, not that big. And let's turn down the intensity. Nope, that looks like makeup. I don't like that at all. Okay. Don't want it to look like makeup. And this is one of those things where I really just spend a lot of time going back and forth until I get something that I like. Also, a lot of, I was talking to Shane about this last night, like, I don't know if you guys, if you paint as well as sculpt, but if you do, it's really, I mean, it's only going to help you because you're, like, I'm sitting here now looking at this and I'm applying principles that I would use in a 2D illustration to this you know, 3D painting, just to make it pop. Like, the forms are there, but it's going to look even better once you have once you've established those areas in tones as well. And this is all stuff that I'll be going over in great detail in my 8-week course with Ryan, if you guys are interested. Let's Let's make those lips not look so crazy. You go crazy. Let's turn up the intensity and freehand. Mouse. Hey, don't forget to check out the other streamers that are on ZBrush Live. I did check earlier, and Ashley is on this evening. I know she's got a big following, so if you want to see her do some really cool sculpts, then check her out as well. So many good guys that are on here. I mean, I switched from, I used to just sit around all day watching podcasts of usually like political stuff that would really get me upset, and now instead I'm watching I watch ZBrush Lives, and I find that I learned something. I'm a lot less angry at the world. So you just know, like already these colors are starting to come together in the lips, and you just know it's going to just look that much better when you go into Keyshot and assign that material. Like it's just going to pop like crazy. All right, let's take this one, tab ZBrush. All right, now I can already see that he is looking a little made up. So I think what I can do is unify these colors a little more by dropping a couple of hits of light brown on it, on the whole thing. So actually, let's mask the cavity one more time. I'm gonna turn it up high. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. So that's going to protect a lot of those areas that I don't want the tone to go into. Inverse it. Let's hide the mask. And now, am I doing on time? I only got 10 minutes left. This is a quick one today. Oh, move. Fill. Yes, I am. Maybe turn up the intensity. Oh no, okay, you know what? I'm in the wrong view mask. I have the wrong thing masked, sorry. Now let's do it. There you go, it's better. And I just want to make him a little less saturated. Might be too much. Okay. All right. So with a little bit of time I have left, I can see already that I need to go around those eyes. So let's darken those up a little bit. Oh my God, this I gotta get pure ref. This is really annoying. Everywhere I move it, the thing is in the way. All right, there it is. All right. Oops. I want that to be dark. And turn off lazy mouse. Not that much. Turn down the intensity. What is going on here? Size. Oh, wrong. Alpha. There you go. By making the area around his eyes darker, it's going to pop those red pupils even more. Here, here. Okay, facial hair is so bad now, but let me just turn it off. So my time is almost up. Let me see if anybody has any questions about anything. Let's see. Used to work in oils. Nice. Oh man. Yeah, Ashley is dope. You gotta watch Ashley. Just look at the if you go to the ZBrush Live schedule and look at who's on, I haven't seen anybody that I didn't learn something from. Trying to avoid YouTube comments. You know, humanity is the worst. These live streams are very relaxing. Cool. All right. So I got like 6 minutes left. But you guys can see it's starting to already, like right now, maybe a little heavy with the black. He's looking kind of like Day of the Dead over here, but you kind of get where I'm going with this. You know, let's just come in and lighten it up a little bit. Oh, I want to hit that keloid a little bit, make that pop. 6 minutes that I have left. Stroke that. It is going to be, so essentially, if you have never seen anybody that has a brand, that it looks like a I mean, it's like when you burn your hand and you get that blister on top. So the skin is stretched really tight. it looks like there's liquid under there, and it's always colored kind of light. So oh, I forgot I have my mask on, which may or not may not be a bad thing. Let's see. It's looking a little too yellow. Knock it back a little bit. Just like everything else I do, it's a lot of back and forth trying to get the right look. But if you hang in there long enough, you'll get it. So I don't know if you guys agree, but having that undertone of those colors really helps inform the rest of the piece. So now I'm getting, you know, through having that stuff early, I'm getting some really nice, you know, some nice peek throughs of reds in the areas, and you know, it just makes the thing feel more vibrant and alive, I think. I love poly painting. It's crazy. I really enjoy sculpting, but I guess because I'm a painter, I just keep coming back to this, and this for me is the really fun part. And then the good thing about it too is that you know, once it's done, when I get a render in Keyshot, all of these details show up, like that Hulk piece. You know, I got some really nice, I'll go back to it. I got some really nice, you know, like these jeans, forget about it. I couldn't have painted this. Are you kidding me? I mean, I could, but not like this, you know? So you can see this was the same thing. All this was red, like it was just totally red with the yellows and the blues, and then I came back in and I hit it up with greens on top, and it feels like it's you know, it's a tone of skin as opposed to just a green guy, a painted green guy. To me, I think. Let's see if there's any last questions here. I only got 1 minute left. G4 Swamp Carrots. Thank you. Really strong parts of the colors in the final. Cool, Andrew. Well, yeah, head on over to ZBrush something. See, I'm a master promoter. Now look up Ryan Kingsling, and you'll see my my class. And if you wanna get down, you can pre-register for that. Bad paint job can ruin a good sculpt. You're right about that. Yeah, I know so many people that are just in a hurry to get the thing done. Like, they don't enjoy sculpting. They're like, I gotta get this speed sculpt. You know, I'm not mad at speed sculptors, but I'm not a speed sculptor. I like to take my time. So I can see, looking at this before I leave, you know, the eyes are still looking Day of the Dead-ish. I gotta go in and make them a little less intense and unify the colors around the mouth. What I'll do is, I think we can do this again next time. You know, just keep going. And then when you guys get tired of it, we'll do something else. ZBrush workshops. Thank you, Seagull. And that's it. I think that's my time, y'all. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you later. Enjoy the rest of your week and check out the rest of the streams. All right? Take care. I've not once been able to say goodbye and then immediately log out. I'm not that good, but all right. Take care, guys. See you.